Lynn again. After Drew passed, the universe, I guess, had to hold my beer moment because it had gotten difficult in ways I couldn't have predicted. My sister and my ride or die were the first to see the condition of the house and what it was like in the world I lived in. The cat poop covered the kitchen floor, all the beer cans in so many hiding places. I kept finding more while I was packing and in the oddest and most hidden of places. We had four attics. My 17-year-old nephew was the one that had to roll the recycling bin out with it filled to the brim with beer cans. We had to close off his bedroom for 3 days with multiple fly traps. My mom saw what I was living in, and I know that it broke her heart. 3 weeks after his death, I reached out to my employer to let him know I was returning to work. I was let go. However, I stayed a month after and did partial work and trained my replacement. I did this long enough for my severance to be paid. During this month, I had my old boss giving me his opinion, which included buddy up with his parents. Now that their son is dead, you can get their money. I cannot explain the grossness of this comment on so many levels. But hey, I am not a narcissistic, egocentric idiot. I'm a little bit tender about that still. A month later, one of our cats died. I like to think that Leo was like, nah, I'm out. I want Drew. My little sis, not by birth, by choice, and I buried him in the backyard. She dug so much more than me. Did you know you have to bury pets at least 4 feet deep? I didn't, and that is so difficult, when you're fat. I painted rocks to mark the ground. Losing my job made it insanely difficult to pay my bills, as you can imagine. I went to Drew's parents for a loan. They responded with giving me conditions that must be met to get the loan, which included my bank statements. I refused to give them this. I refused to jump through hoops. This was when they called me and let me know that not only were they not going to help, but because my husband ensured that my name was not on the house and he died without a will, this meant they got half of his estate, which consisted of our home. Let me explain the level of control and addiction my husband had. I did not get access to our mortgage until a few days before he died. Hell, my last text to my husband is me complaining about how I have to ask multiple times to get him to pay the mortgage. Now, the access I got was very basic, enough to continue paying the mortgage. I even had the quitclaim deed in the works years before, but my husband was never of sound mind but my husband was never sober enough to sign the documents. Of sound mind and body and all. My husband was never of sound mind and body, and that was his problem. Jeez, my dress looks like something from the 70s. I'm either going to prom or I'm wearing a couch. There you go. Fashion sense of a 46-year-old squishy lady. I need it to look nice enough to wear to a 70s prom, and I need to be comfortable enough to lay around on the couch. Have a good day. Bye.